What is up? Welcome to at 2024 War Room. I just want to go over a clip from last night from Hannity with Vivek Ramaswamy. I mean, it's going around the internet pretty frequent right now. It was on X a lot today. Just a kind of a crazy interview in my opinion, coming from Sean Hannity. And to me, he got exposed. He got real exposed. And Vivek, I've been saying this for a while, but in my opinion, Vivek Ramaswamy is 10 times more of a threat to the establishment than Donald Trump. And why do I say that? Well, Vivek Ramaswamy is just, he's very articulate, he's very smart, he's very on point, he's very messaged. Obviously, he doesn't have, like most people on the planet, have some less baggage than Trump, less distractions, and all that kind of stuff. And not only that, I mean, he wants to shut down the Department of Education. Trump doesn't want to shut down that. Now that's huge. That's a threat to the establishment. Shutting down the FBI, threat to the establishment. There's things that he's talking about doing that would completely change the landscape of the establishment. The 10 truths he talks about. I mean, Trump can't even. If you've noticed, and this has been said quite a bit, you've noticed that Trump's moved to the left. I mean, he looks like he's trying to flirt with the Democrats, almost like he's concerned that he needs to attract more voters because of he quote unquote lost in 2020. So it seems like he's moving to the left. You know, he was asked by Megyn Kelly if a man can become a woman. It looked like he had to think about it because he doesn't want to offend the base. It's not that Trump in 2015, 2016. I'm not saying Trump's all bad. I'm just saying that it's obvious to me he's not the same guy back as he was back then. So, for many reasons, Vivek to me is a bigger threat to the establishment. And you're seeing it right now. I mean, you're seeing it right now. Hannity, I mean, the thing last night was, it was so hypocritical of Hannity, what he did. But let's run the clip.
I don't think that befits the Republican Party. I think we need to be better than that. So, Sean, you and I may have a different view on that. But my view is, if you're making money off your time in government, then I don't think you're fit to be president of the United States. Well, more importantly, though, what's our policy? Stand with our allies while avoiding World War III, and that's where I'm at.
A lot of people don't think you're qualified because you weren't even a Republican or voting Republican until what, 2020?
Well, Sean, I think it depends on what your objectives with this interview are. I voted Libertarian in my first election. I voted Republican in 2020. You're right. I'm not a partisan hack. I come in from the outside.
I'll forgive you for your screw-up.
So, Hannity says, why should we believe you? What did you vote? You only voted, once for Republican in 2020 and then one other time or something? And then Vivek said, yeah, I voted for a Republican in 2020 and once for a Libertarian. And so, Hannity's over here trying to like disqualify him because, you're disqualified because you haven't voted Republican for 50 years. And Vivek's like, I'm not a political hack. I mean, is there a qualification how long you have to be a Republican? And it's just amazing to me because Sean Hannity, did he not support Trump? I know he supported Trump in 2015, 2016. He still supports him now. Trump was a Democrat until 2009. Then he was an independent till 2012. Then when he came down the escalator on June 16th, 2015, he had been a Republican for a whopping 3 years. Okay? So how the hell does Sean Hannity call out? That's completely hypocritical. Oh, Vivek, you're not qualified, but my boy Trump was qualified in 2015 when he had been a Republican for 3 years. I mean, really? Does that make any sense at all? I mean, there's videotape of Trump saying that he's pro-choice. Can you imagine that? I mean, Trump broke all the rules. We all know that. He was a complete political outsider. I mean, this guy had positions all over the map. But now he has a problem with Vivek becoming only voting Republican once? I mean, you talk about hypocritical. It doesn't even make sense. Let's play the rest of this.
Minded patriot who speaks
the truth. It sounds to me like you just want to jump from the private sector yourself, where you made a lot of money. By the way, I applaud capitalism. I applaud successful people.
Sean, I applaud you for being so transparent about your objectives.
I actually think that people working in the defense of our country, in the defense industry, are playing a vital role for the cause of freedom. So I don't really call it a corrupting influence or suggest that somehow that's a corrupting influence. I actually like the experience that goes along with working for defense contractors. But I've got to listen.
One of the things I loved about that interview with Tucker, was we were actually able to have a thoughtful conversation and go deep into issues rather than this kind of political gotcha.
The point is this: you go on these interviews. Yeah, I have nothing but nice things to say. But here's your problem:
people should watch it.
You go on these shows, people quote your exact words, and you deny your own words. And I'm saying if you're going to be a presidential candidate and you're going to spend, I'm going to give you your exact words. Either own it,
Sean, you have been sitting here for years talking about the fake news media.
But you played this all the time.
I'm enjoying this. You have been laughing about the fake news media how many times for the last several years, and now you're buying the mainstream media narrative when you know how corrupt it is.
I am following you. I am quoting your exact words.
Are a problem.
Did I not quote your exact words?
About Azerbaijan and Armenia.
Did I or did I not quote your exact words? Did I quote your exact words?
And Armenia, absolutely.
Thank you.
About Azerbaijan, yes, you did.
I've got time to go.
About a different topic, Azerbaijan, where people should actually get their own information rather than filtered through centralized media.
I think it's asinine to think somebody that worked in the defense industry should not be qualified to be president. I think people that never held public office, like you, maybe they're not qualified to be president. Anyway, we'll come back. We'll continue. Secretary.
So that's the clip. So Hannity's trying to say that he has no experience. He shouldn't be. So I guess no experience, just like Trump had no experience. He shouldn't be run for president, which is obviously hypocritical. And then he was talking about he was referencing the Tucker Carlson interview, which you saw. If you haven't seen it, go to his Tucker Carlson on X, but it's also posted, not the whole thing, but the clip on at 2024 War Room. So, I think Vivek was talking about how there's selective outrage, and he was talking about Armenia, and I forget how you say the other word, but there was a big conflict going on that most Americans don't know about that gets absolutely no media coverage. And there's some kind of lobbyist in Washington, D.C. that they put a lid on it. They're really not talking about it. They're not allowed to talk about it. But anyways, he's kind of like saying how Ukraine gets all this media coverage, but then we don't talk about these other incidents also. So what happened is that the Free Beacon sent out that's what Hannity's talking about. That's Free Beacon article that states that he was talking about Israel, how basically that we have selective outrage. We're outraged about Israel, but we're not outraged about Armenia. Well, he wasn't talking about Israel. He was talking about Ukraine. He was talking about Armenia, and then talking about that. So it's really it's funny because Vivek wasn't even talking about Israel, but they keep saying he was talking about Israel because if you read the part of the article, the first part, they say that. So the whole thing is that obviously Hannity is. I just don't think he likes Vivek. I think, like I said, Vivek's a threat to the establishment, and Sean Hannity sounded like the establishment. He sounded like you don't have the political experience, and you don't have you didn't vote Republican, how can we trust you? He sounded like he was backing Nikki Haley, who is the biggest warmonger on the planet. Nikki Haley, this lady just loves war. So, anyways, that's kind of an interesting clip that happened. A lot of stuff going on, folks. That's all I got for tonight. Thank you. Have an outstanding night. Thank you.